with little happening in Washington today because our representatives are gone, the surveillance balloon from China absolutely is penetrating the news, as it is also penetrating U.S. airspace. The spokesperson from the Chinese foreign military said it's just a civilian airship used for research. They said that China regrets that this unintended entry into the airspace of the United States. Doesn't that make you feel better? We're all glad that this is just a civilian airship. They also said that it was monitoring the weather for research. And now we're all supposed to feel good about that. But the truth of the matter is that this has breached U.S. airspace. And I can't help but think of the many trips that I personally have made to the southern border to see how porous our southern border is and how easy it is for who knows who to enter our southern border. Is that problem indicative of now other countries saying the southern border of the United States is open? What else is open? Maybe their airspace. Well, joining me now to discuss this and more is U.S. Representative Matt Rosendale. He's a member of the House Freedom Caucus, as well as the Veterans Affairs Committee and the Committee on Natural Resources. He represents the 2nd Congressional District of Montana, where this balloon currently is located. So, Congressman Rosendale, great to see you again. Thank you for joining us on Washington Watch.
Jody, it is great to see you again, my friend. We miss you. We miss you badly.
Well, thank you so much. But listen, thank you for staying in the battle. You're a tremendous leader. Let's jump into this, Matt. First of all, your reactions. What did you think when you first heard that a Chinese aircraft had breached U.S. airspace?
First of all, you wonder what type of craft it is. And we were very slow to get information that it was actually some type of a balloon, a high altitude balloon. So my initial thought is at least we don't have to worry about our local air traffic running into it, because this thing was operating at somewhere between 65,000 feet and 80,000 feet. So you want to think of the immediate problems that could be causing. And then I started trying to extract as much more information as I possibly could from my adjutant general from the National Guard, the commanding officer at Malmstrom Air Force Base, which is the Air Force Base in the north central part of Montana that's actually responsible for those 140 ICBMs, the missiles, the nuclear missiles that we have in place to protect our nation. And, you want to get this information and from the Pentagon. And unfortunately, Jody, there has not been a lot of information forthright, coming at very rapid of a pace. And so I received no sense of comfort from General Ryder's press conference that he put on today, because he didn't give a lot of information. He said that the military acted immediately to protect sensitive information. How do you protect sensitive information that's spread across hundreds and hundreds of miles of Montana landscape? That's where the missile field is located. How do you protect sensitive information that's being collected from a balloon that's operating at somewhere between 65,000 and 80,000 feet? That's above one of our most guarded Air Force bases that are responsible for those nuclear missiles. And then for them to say that they're not going to give an hour by hour report on where this balloon is located is absolutely disgraceful. That we have to get the reports from the National Weather Service to tell us where this spy balloon is traveling around our country.
It's unbelievable. And listen, I share your concerns 1,000%. And, I think it's important for our viewers and our listeners to understand we're not just talking about a balloon. This thing is the size of like 2 school buses. It's large, it's loaded with sensors, and it's monitoring a lot of things. And so this is an enormous concern that it's in U.S. airspace right now. And Montana is a key place for so much of our nuclear capabilities and assets. So what are you hearing from citizens in your district, citizens there in Montana?
Well, they started seeing this thing in the sky. Obviously, we do watch the sky. We don't have a lot of buildings in the way, and so they started bringing the reports in to see what was going on. We had reports that the airport in Billings had been shut down, and in Bozeman had been shut down for short periods of time while they were scuttling some aircraft out there to check this balloon out. My question is, where did it come from? How long has it been in the United States airspace? Why wasn't it detected as soon as it entered from probably Washington and came across, or from Canada? Who's operating it? Where are they operating it from? And then finally, Jody, why can't we bring it? Look, if you can't shoot it down because you're worried about what type of gases or what kind of chemicals might be in the balloon itself, why can't we somehow bring this thing back to Earth and then take the equipment that's on it and do that analysis, do some reverse engineering, find out what's going on it, instead of just allowing it to continue to travel across the entire nation? Again, fortunately, the National Weather Service told us that at this point it is somewhere over Missouri, heading east. Bring it down and determine what is going on, and then send Blinken to the Chinese Communist Party and let them know that we are not going to tolerate this type of activity.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it takes rocket science. You know, the Pentagon said that this thing does not pose any threat for U.S. intelligence to be compromised because they're tracking it. Well, that's not enough for me. All right, just because you're tracking it does not mean that this thing is not posing some sort of threat to our national security. What are your thoughts on what the Pentagon said?
I've received no sense of comfort from General Ryder today, and I'm still waiting to hear back. We issued a letter to the Pentagon asking for this briefing. I've received no sense of comfort or information to help us figure out what's going on here, so that they're tracking it. Okay, what information is this balloon and the Chinese Communist Party gathering as it goes across our country?
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there if I can, because that's a question. I really like to have your thoughts on this. The public may not fully understand that the ability already exists to spy via satellite. Okay, we know China is looking at our assets and looking at things through satellite, but what type of information do you think could be captured from this balloon?
See, that's what I don't know. And that's why I have more questions at the end of this day than I have answers. What information can they gather from that balloon, and what information are they gathering? Are they taking information about our refineries, our pipelines, our infrastructure, our vital infrastructure, detecting where the different places that are vulnerable when it comes to our power grid? There are so many pieces of information that they might be gathering right now. We have this rip and replace program that's going on right now with all of the Huawei technology that had been placed in our cell towers. So we finally have recognized that that needs to be replaced to keep the Chinese from collecting data and spying on us. Well, what else are they looking at to see what they can do us harm? Look, Jody, you and I both. The Chinese Communist Party wants to be the global power, and they are not
absolutely.
they're not sending that balloon across our country to check and see what wind conditions are in the Midwest.
Absolutely. We've got about 30 seconds. Congressman, you've been heavily involved on the southern border issues as well. Is it fair to compare the breach of U.S. airspace with our porous southern borders?
It is. And now we are also getting numbers, Jody, that the northern border is starting to have just the extreme amount of pressure as well. The illegal crossings have gone from 2,000 to 3,000 a year to up to 100,000 a year. So this country is being invaded on all sides.
Thank you so much, Congressman Rosendale. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for leading the way on so many issues. Great to see you again.